SoFi investors, with only one trading day before SoFi reports earnings on Tuesday, July 29th, I want to show you guys three things that must happen on Tuesday for SoFi to continue its forward momentum. And if these things, or maybe even if one of them does not happen on Tuesday, we could see a slide in the stock price for SoFi in the short term, right? There's been a lot of things priced into this current run up from, around $12, $13 to up over $20 over the last several weeks, guys. If you're an investor in SoFi and have been over the last couple of years, we've seen the stock go from $4, $5, $6 to up over $20. So the stock is getting out ahead of itself a little bit. So they need to continue to be very, very effective with their growth and their growth strategy if they want this momentum to continue. All right, let's get into these three things that must happen on Tuesday to keep this SoFi momentum alive. Investors, if you're new to the channel, my name is Jason. And if you want more SoFi updates and more stock market tips, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. On one of my latest videos that got over 8,000 views, 92% of you who have viewed that video are not subscribed. So do me a solid, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into today's video. All right, SoFi investors, the first thing that I want to see on Tuesday is membership growth continuing over 30%. If you take a look at the last earnings reports, member report, here we go. I mean, since 2021 to 2024, we've seen a ton of growth, 50%, 40%, 34%, and then we're staying steady in that 34% range for Q1 of 2025. We added 802,000 new members in Q1 of 2025. The numbers that I want to see in Q2 of 2025, I want over 850,000 new members. That goes in that range between 30 and 34%. 34% is going to be upwards towards more like 900,000 new members in Q2, but I would be happy with 850,000. That's right around 30%. Anywhere between 850,000 and 900,000 new members added over the second quarter. That's what we need to see. Membership growth continuing over 30%. And one correlation that I found in my research that you guys might find pretty interesting is like, look, Q1 2025, this is the adjusted net revenue in millions of dollars, right? So you guys see a trend here, year over year growth, 33% for Q1 2025. And year over year growth for members added, 34%. So these numbers are kind of growing in conjunction with one another, right? So there's a direct correlation, it seems, between new members added and revenue, adjusted net revenue growth, right? So if they could both be over 30% here in Q2 2025, I will be a very, very happy camper. But you could see back in 2022, 51 to 52%, and then in 2023, there's a little bit of a dip from the correlation, 44% to 35%, and then 26% to 34%. But we did see it jump back up to 33% here, year over year growth, adjusted net revenue. So we're starting to see maybe a potential re-acceleration in both adjusted net revenue and members in thousands for SoFi. Year over year, we see over 30% in membership growth as well as adjusted net revenue. I will be a super happy camper. All right, SoFi investors. Now we're going to move on to the second thing that I want to see happen in the earnings report coming up on Tuesday. We need to see some tech platform growth. It has been stagnant, to say the least. It's been one of the most disappointing aspects of this company. And if Anthony Noto wants to make good on his thesis that this company will be the AWS of fintech, then this tech part of the financial aspects of this company needs a breath of fresh air. it's been a disaster. If you take a look, I mean, net revenue in millions over the last 3 quarters is as flat can get. They are getting no new customers. And straight up, it's pretty embarrassing, right? For me, if we don't see growth in this quarter coming up, it's been 1 year of no growth. The chief tech officer needs to be fired 100%. There needs to be some sort of plan moving forward, right? So what we want to see, any growth at all and a plan to start to turn this into a more profitable segment of this business model, guys. Just take a look. It's been embarrassing. With all these member growths and everything else in this company growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. And the net contribution margins on the way down. Contribution profit on the way down consecutive quarters. It's really disappointing, frankly, because if this tech platform isn't getting integrated into other businesses, then what the hell are we doing here, guys? Anthony Noto and his technology team really need to buckle down and figure out why isn't this growing and get a new plan moving forward. What they're doing is clearly not working, right? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is insane, right? It's the definition of insanity, right? So what we got to do, we need a new plan. Whether that's firing the people that are in place right now or coming up with a completely different strategy. I want to hear Anthony Noto and his team talk about why this tech platform has seen no growth in the last 4 quarters if they don't grow here in Q2 of 2025. The charts don't lie, man. It's just as flat could be. Very, very disappointing here for SoFi. And I want to see some growth or a plan or some sign of a heartbeat from this tech platform that has been very, very disappointing over the last couple of years. The next thing I want to see that will help SoFi continue this upward trajectory that it's been on is a timeline for crypto reentry. If you take a look at your screen, this is a snapshot of the press release on SoFi's website marking our return into crypto investing, right? You could sign up for an email link that will let you know when the platform is, crypto ready. But I want some sort of guidance and I want a timeline, whether it's the fall, is it the Q1 of 2026? Because if you keep saying something's going to happen, unless we have a clear-cut idea of when, where, and how it's going to happen, I think the enthusiasm that's run this stock up, getting back into crypto, is going to go away, and we're going to see a fade in the stock price. Crypto reentry, in 2024, Robinhood generated $626 million in revenue from cryptocurrency transactions, a 364% increase compared to the previous year, according to Investor Business Daily. This surge in crypto revenue was driven by a 72% increase in the number of users trading cryptocurrency. Overall, cryptocurrency revenue accounted for a significant portion of Robinhood's total transactional revenue, which rose by 110% to $1.65 billion. They're leaving a lot of money on the table by not being in crypto and not have full-fledged options on their platform, man. The amount of fees that I pay Charles Schwab every week, every month, every year is insane. And that's just me with a little baby account of around $200,000. So here are some bonus. Keep your eyes on factors that we'll see on Tuesday's earnings report. First is home lending, right? I want to hear Anthony Noto's thoughts on interest rates going down, what he anticipates the rates will be by the end of the year over the next couple of years, and whether or not he thinks Trump's bill will impact their student loan business, right? So home lending at one sector and then the student loans on another. I want to see them talk about that as well. Listen, Trump's new big, beautiful bill, whatever you want to call it, puts limits on student lending from the government, right? So that is going to make students have to go out to companies like SoFi and get additional loans, especially for graduate school, right? So is that going to impact their business? And if it is, by how much? I would like to see some sort of guidance on that as well. I want to also see consistent growth for fee-based revenue. It's a very high margin sector of their business model, right? And as you can see, the fee-based revenue has really escalated over the last couple of years, man. So we did $970 million in fee-based revenue in 2024, and we are on pace to do $1.2 billion here in 2025. So I want to see a number in line consistent with this, in that $315 to $325 million. I want to see a tick up. So I would like to see around $325 million worth of fee-based revenue here in Q2 of 2025. I would be happy with that. Everything over the 325 is just gravy in my opinion. And to the right of this chart, we see the fee-based revenue and all other adjusted net revenue. So the fee-based revenue is becoming more and more of a higher percentage of the overall adjusted net revenue, right? So high margin business, I want to see the continued acceleration for fee-based revenue. Just another little tidbit. So guys, that's kind of 5-6 things that I'm looking at for SoFi stock here coming up on Tuesday. If we miss on a bunch of these numbers, I'm telling you the stock will probably go back under $20 and settle in that $15 to $18 range over the next coming weeks. But we have seen great growth in SoFi stock. SoFi was down a little bit this week, around 5%. But as you can see, over the last month, up over 30%. Over the last 3 months, we're up almost 70%. Year to date, we're crushing the overall market at 41.6%. And over the last year from today, we're up over 200%. So in order to keep the stock price where it is, we need to hit those metrics that I spoke about earlier in this video. If there's other metrics that you want to see them hit in this quarter's earnings report coming up on Tuesday, let me know in the comments down below. If you want more SoFi updates, more stock market information, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any suggestions for the channel that will help you be a subscriber to this channel, I would love to hear them down in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace.